This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol live special 1:20 in the afternoon edition. We are currently waiting on President Joe Biden to give a speech on the federal government's response to the Omicron variant. Apparently, he is going to be sending out home tests. I don't know if it's to every household, but I think I saw 500 million home tests going out. An idea that Jen Psaki mocked, a month and a half ago? Now in the face of a tidal wave of cases engulfing the country, the Biden administration has changed their tune. That seems to be all they're going to do. I doubt there are going to be any other measures announced by the government this afternoon. I'm not used to being on at this time, clearly. I'm not high enough for this shit. Trying to get in a festive mood here at the Troll Patrol, but it's hard when there is a mass casualty event on the horizon. Still going on. It's dwindled a little bit as of late, but we have been in the midst of a mass casualty event for the last 2 years now. Fun times. But we're going to try to have a little fun. We're going to try to be festive and get in the Christmas spirit. Looking forward to eating my duck with Sparkles Lavendar later this week. Going to be doing Christmas karaoke on the Freak Show on Friday night. That should be a blast. Before I get to taste the duck that Sparkles is brining in garbage cans. She ordered plastic garbage cans in order to brine the ducks. This is going to be interesting. Duck a la garbage can. Dark Winter! The public health officials that have been on the television have not been too optimistic, it seems. Dr. Fauci just kind of throwing his hands up like a lot of people getting ready to die. It is the winter solstice, or technically the winter solstice happens in a few hours. Maybe you're a little closer to it than us, Warlord. Happy solstice to you all. Or did it already happen? I'm confused. Is it tonight or is it like it wasn't last night? Is it officially winter today? I don't fucking know. As I said, we are currently... Oh, fuck. Oh, do I have it up? Here we go. Yeah. Oh, I didn't change... There we go. There's the Christmas graphics. Got the normal graphics there for a second on the 4K screen. There we go. Christmas graphics. As you can see, the countdown is at about 5 minutes until the channel is expected to go live. Biden is supposed to speak at 2:30 Eastern Time. That's in about 6 minutes. The channel hasn't even gone live yet, so I'm going to assume we're going to be sitting here waiting for about 10-20 minutes before he even walks out. Apparently, the Build Back Better Act is being resurrected. The White House feels they can still push it through in January. Doubt. Yeah, sure, bro. Sure. I will say that one of the unions, the coal miners union in West Virginia, has come forward and is putting pressure on Manchin to change his tune. I mean, let's face it. Manchin is being paid to be where he's at to do exactly what he's doing. We'll get into all that shit tonight, including a sitting member of Congress has been asked, not subpoenaed, but asked to testify. Says he will not cooperate with the committee. Of course, this is in regards to January 6th, if you didn't know what I was talking about. Apparently, Bill O'Reilly had to reassure Trump after fans booed him over saying that he got a booster. Which, makes me incredibly sad because I really wanted to still be on
Trump dies of COVID watch.
I was hoping he didn't get a booster and would be one of the people who is highly susceptible to reinfection. But clearly, there is not a God. I am not high enough for this shit. Let's go back to the White House here. Went over to Echoplex. Played the video last night that we were going to play on the Troll Patrol about Jordan Peterson giving Ben Shapiro dating advice. I never heard any dating advice. Jordan Peterson kept bashing his wife, and Ben Shapiro kept talking about the Bible. And I have no clue what the two, the conversation made no sense to me whatsoever. I'm not exaggerating. It was Jordan Peterson bashing his wife, and then Ben Shapiro would be like, well, in the Garden of Eden, blah, blah, blah. Made absolutely no sense. Heard no relationship advice whatsoever. We also watched, James O'Keefe and his little presentation at the TPUSA event. Holy fuck, where he came out and they're dancing to The Weeknd. It was one of the cringiest things I've ever seen. And I've seen some awfully cringe. Oh, we watched this podcast called Dumpster Fire with this Bridget. I keep forgetting her last name. I looked her up. Apparently she'd been on Joe Rogan. She writes for the Federalist. Bridget Fetisi. We watched her show. We spent about the first 20 minutes trying to figure out if she was on the right or the left. We did not all the takes she had were just kind of like Nancy Pelosi is against outlawing members of Congress trading stocks, and she had the right take on that. So it took us a little while before it was the crime wave that's the smash and grab that's going on. That's when we finally realized that she was a right-winger. Oh shit, not high enough for this. As you can see, the countdown has reached about 42 seconds on the White House official YouTube. I didn't know which one to check because there were two White Houses. This one getting ready to go live. There's also another one that is currently live that says it's a press briefing with Jen Psaki. Got two concurrent events going on here. Jen Psaki has
news on a day when it was a tough news day, and
it was a late joke.
But yesterday we heard about Major being rehomed, a new puppy, and a White House cat. So is this like the worst week ever for the White House?
Believe it or not, Jackie, I don't have time in my schedule to coordinate with the pet folks, but the pet was a present from the president's brother. I met the pet this morning, the pet commander. We can call him by name.
The president's brother, isn't he a shady individual?
President,
Or does he have another brother I'm not aware of?
Probably as well. And as I think was noted by the First Lady's team, we can expect to meet the cat, a she, as I've learned, in January. Go ahead.
Hey, Jen. Here in the district, and we're seeing...
So we'll hang out with Jen Psaki until we get Biden over here on the other screen.
Not just this
I don't know why they would do these at the same time. That seems weird.
A number of these are also breakthrough cases. We used to hear the administration talk about how rare these were, but there seems to have been a change in tone around these. Is it almost inevitable now, is that the view of the administration, that many Americans, including vaccinated Americans, will see a case, a positive case in the next
Everybody gonna get it.
Well, I'm going to let our medical doctors give an assessment of that. We do expect...
Yes, everybody gonna get it.
What they have said, that there to be increases of cases and increases of breakthrough cases. We are still seeing a significant...
We fucked it up.
Even getting the virus from the vaccines, from being boosted. But there will be breakthrough cases. We have breakthrough cases in the White House. I'm sure you will have them in your news organizations. And we're seeing numbers go up in New York City, in D.C., and other parts of the country. What we will continue to convey, because we recognize that a lot of people...
I have a feeling that the wave of deaths that we're getting ready to experience is going to eclipse last year.
To them about the effectiveness of the vaccines. And this is a very interesting chart, which is why I love charts, but this is an interesting one, that fully vaccinated, this is looking at average weekly deaths. If you look at the number of fully vaccinated versus unvaccinated, we've seen it have peaks and valleys, but it's 14 times higher for unvaccinated individuals. 14 times more likely to die of COVID than if you are vaccinated. No one wants to get COVID, but I think what the president is conveying is get vaccinated.
Why are the ASL people always so cool? Like, she looks like somebody I want to hang out with.
To being hospitalized.
Just by the way she's talking.
Some of the protocols that are in place here
Sure.
in the White House, because I think a lot of Americans have questions about if they were to test positive or in close contact, what are the protocols that they should follow?
We are currently waiting for remarks from President Joe Biden. They are supposed to take place any minute now.
The president was in proximity to.
2:30 Eastern was the time that the conference was supposed to take place.
Others who are interacting with this.
Jen Psaki giving a press briefing currently. She just came out a few minutes
The guidance
ago.
of the CDC is if you are close contact, you should be tested 5 to 7 days, 5 days and 7 days post-contact. We do 3 and 5 days post-contact here at the White House through PCR tests.
You have the screen where Biden is supposed to speak up on the other monitor.
5-day PCR test tomorrow. I would also note that as it relates to our own protocols here, because we of course go over and above in a lot of ways here, every time you're going to travel with the president or even meet in the Oval Office with the president, you're required to be tested that day. So there are additional protocols. There are also regular testing protocols for others who may not be interacting with the president. And we also
I would think they would give somebody a rapid test every time they're going in with the president.
At a path forward here. On the child tax,
We see that this thing incubates fast, that you can test negative of a morning and test positive of an evening.
from that monthly payment will not get that in the month of January. What is the White House's message to them? And Senator Romney has put forward a proposal that he says would be a bipartisan pathway forward. Is that something the White House is looking into?
Well, most importantly, the president's message is that his preference was to get Build Back Better passed in December so that people could have child tax credit extended, a benefit that has contributed.
That shit should have passed in June.
This year and has helped put money.
I can't believe the time you fucks have wasted.
Sure many families could help make ends meet during an economic downturn that was tied to the pandemic. And I would say on the second piece of your question, we are going to work with anybody who's interested in taking steps to lower costs for the American people, whether it's on child care or elder care or health care. We want to get Build Back Better done because the comprehensive package is going to have an enormous impact, according to dozens of economists across the board. It would require 60.
And that's true. Goldman Sachs downgraded their rating for the economy after Manchin's announcement.
Thanks, Jen.
Wall Street responded negatively to the announcement by Manchin. Now, a lot of right-wingers are promoting that as a reason to be against the bill, but like, when are right-wingers
of our COVID policy.
against
but
fucking the banking is like, I don't understand.
That would go into place if the president did in fact test positive for COVID.
he would follow CDC guidelines.
Would he stay in the White House? Would he go to Walter Reed, or is that still undecided?
I don't have any predictions of that. I think it depends on whether he would be symptomatic or not. But let's
He has not
challenge
spoke yet, and I highly doubt they will be imposing anything. The announcement seems to be that it will be sending out 500 million at-home tests.
There's a report that you're considering extending the student loan relief past the February deadline. Can you comment on that, whether that's on the table or a decision that's been made?
The president has not made a decision.
We are awaiting remarks from Biden. We have it up on the other monitor over here.
Tested positive. But
Until then, we're listening to Jen Psaki give her daily press briefing.
He's not tested positive though, because this is causing
Yes,
confusion out there.
apologies. He has not tested positive. He tested negative yesterday, as we indicated, and he'll be tested again tomorrow. He does not have any symptoms either.
we're reporting that the FDA will authorize both the Merck and Pfizer pills. I would obviously welcome your confirmation of that if you could give it. But more realistically, can you say what role having those pills will play in the overall response? How does it change your view of tackling this with those pills in hand, if they are?
So they have gone live from the
Again, I'll just preface
other
that
feed.
I'm not going to, of course, get ahead of the FDA or the process. The gold standard, as we
We'll
like
stay
to
with
say,
Psaki until
certainly having antivirals
Biden
available
steps
to
up to the podium.
help us fight the virus, address the pandemic, help people return to a version of normal, and we will be prepared, like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, to ensure we are making these antivirals available to the public. All right, thanks, everyone.
That was quick. She was not speaking last time I checked at like 1:15. So that was 10-15 minute press conference, it seems. About 10 minutes. Maybe 15, maybe 15. So we'll head over to this screen as we await President Joe Biden. His remarks on the Kenny McCormick variant. I'm not high enough for. If you're not a regular, be sure to tune into the show tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern. We do the nightly news, a rundown of all the day's top stories. We're going to be talking about how apparently it's a Christmas miracle and the Build Back Better Act will be born again. How wild would it be? Died right before the solstice, stayed dead 3 days until it was born again. It's a Christmas miracle. We're going to be talking the latest in the January 6th investigation. Let me see what else I got. I got some fun shit. Texas, now the job-quitting capital of the U.S. United Mine Workers are calling on Joe Manchin to support the Build Back Better Act. Ooh. Brandon Brown. The man who... How do I put this? That's the Brandon in Let's Go Brandon. He has now spoke on the trend. That should be fun. Kyle Rittenhouse is threatening accountability Which is weird because he's still got a lot of civil action coming his way. Oh, shit. The Babylon Bee has announced that they will be interviewing Elon Musk. We're going to watch the trailer for what most certainly going to be an incel circle jerk. Oh, I've got this awesome Christmas parody of Home Alone to encourage people to get boosted. It's fantastic. Oh, the Kellogg strike. It appears the Kellogg strike has come to an end. An agreement has been reached. We're going to talk about the possibility of criminal charges against the former president. Oh, yeah. Joe Manchin apparently told the White House he was against the expansion of child tax credits, the thing that cut poverty in half, probably way more than half in West Virginia since it's one of the poorest states. If not the poorest. I don't know what the ranking is currently. He told the White House he was against the expansion of the child tax credit, making it permanent, because he was afraid those families would spend the money on drugs. Fucking wow. Why would you care, Joe Manchin, if they spent it on drugs? Apparently, you'd still get rich that way too. Fucking piece of shit. Are we going to see Brett Baier leaving Fox News? New reports about what he had to say about the higher-ups concerning Tucker Carlson. Fucking, Jesse Waters on Fox News saying that Dr. Fauci should be fired on the spot. No. Fauci says Jesse Waters should be fired on the spot because Waters told a crowd to ambush Fauci with a kill shot. Just the latest in right-wing crazy. Oh shit, here we go.
From the shoulder. The good, the bad, the truth. So as we head...
You can't handle the truth!
Answer your questions about the rising number of COVID cases, COVID-19 cases. And I want to start by acknowledging how tired, worried, and frustrated I know you are. I know how you're feeling. For many of you, this will be the first or even the second Christmas where you look across the table, will be an empty kitchen chair there.
They ain't gonna do shit. You guys are gonna have more restrictions over there in the UK. There's not new restrictions coming. They will be locally implemented if there are restrictions. This federal government ain't gonna do shit.
Tougher because we have the power of science and vaccines that prevent illness and save lives. And tougher because of our resolve. So that, let me answer some questions that lay out the steps the Vice President and I are taking to prepare for the rising number of cases experts tell us we can expect in the weeks ahead. First, how concerned should you be about Omicron, which is now the dominant variant in this country, and it happened so quickly? The answer is straightforward. If you're not fully vaccinated, you have good reason to be concerned. You're at a high risk of getting sick. And if you get sick, you're likely to spread it to others, including friends and family. And the unvaccinated have a significantly higher risk of ending up in a hospital or even dying.
Well, he's out here fucking coughing. The press was asking about if he tested positive or not. Holy fuck, do they know something? Is there a rumor going around in Washington?
But if you're among the majority of Americans who are fully vaccinated, and especially if you've gotten the booster shot, that third shot, you have much less reason to worry. You have a high degree of protection against severe illness. But because Omicron spreads so easily, we'll see some fully vaccinated people get COVID, potentially in large numbers. There will be positive cases in every office, even here in the White House among the vaccinated from Omicron. But these cases are highly unlikely to
They are confirming a widespread outbreak at the White House right now, aren't they?
may get ill, but they're protected from severe illness and death. That's why you should still remain vigilant. According to our doctors, even if you're fully vaccinated, you should wear a mask when indoors and in public settings. Wearing a mask provides extra protection for you and those around you. And I know some Americans are wondering if you can safely celebrate the holidays with your family and friends. The answer is yes, you can. If you and those who
I would recommend keeping it to a very close circle.
if you've gotten your booster shot, if you are vaccinated and follow the precautions that we all know well, you should feel comfortable celebrating Christmas and the holidays as you planned it. You know, you've done the right thing. You can enjoy the holiday season. And thanks to the progress on
Good
vaccination,
afternoon, Tones.
we've gone from nearly 90 million adults in July who had not even started their vaccination process to fewer than 40 million today.
Yeah, all Alabama.
Down from
You're welcome to come over. No, we don't have enough duck for everybody in Alabama. You can get their own fucking duck and foie gras.
to your family, and quite frankly, I know I'll get criticized for this, to your country. Get vaccinated now. It's free. It's convenient. I promise you, it saves lives. And I, honest to God,
Honestly, at this point, he ought to be coming out here and being like, no, don't go get vaccinated. We want all of you to die of a completely preventable illness. Don't go get vaccinated. I'm on your side. We don't want to have to deal with your dumb fuckery anymore. Reverse psychology. That way they'll go get vaccinated.
Unfortunately, we still have tens of millions of people.
Right-wingers are morons. You have to treat them as
who
such.
have not yet gotten it. They've gotten the first 2 shots, but they've not gotten the booster. Folks, the booster shots are free and widely available. Over 60 million Americans, including 62% of eligible seniors.
I was going to go get my booster this past weekend, but I realized it hasn't been 6 months yet.
They're available.
So I will wait until after the first of the year.
Trump announced he had gotten his booster shot.
Then he got booed for it.
Things he and I agree on. People with booster shots are highly protected. Join them. Join us. It's been 6 months or more since my second shot. If it's been 6 months or more for your second shot when I got my booster, you can get yours today if you've been 6 months or more since your second shot. Another question that folks are asking is, are we going back to March 2020? Not this last March 2021, but
This is what everybody in the chat has been saying.
that's what I keep getting asked. The answer is absolutely no. No. Here are 3 big differences between then and now. Number one, the first one, more than 200 million Americans have been fully vaccinated. In March of 2020, no one was fully vaccinated. What that means is today, a case of COVID-19 for fully vaccinated and boosted person will most likely be no symptom or mild one, similar to the common respiratory viruses. Over 200 million Americans should have the peace of mind that they did not have in March of 2020.
He's coughing an awful lot, but so am I. The reason I'm coughing is because I've been sitting here fucking taking bong rips. So
Second point, we're prepared today for what's coming. In March of 2020, we were not ready.
I don't think we are prepared.
We stockpiled enough gowns, masks, and ventilators to deal with the surge of hospitalizations among the unvaccinated. Today, we're ready. And as I'll explain in a few minutes, we're going to be reinforcing our hospitals, helping them. Number 3, we know a lot more today than we did back in March of 2020. For example, last year, we thought the only way to keep your children safe was to close our schools. Today, we know more and we have more resources to keep those schools open. You can get 5 to 11-year-olds vaccinated, a tool we didn't have until last month. Today, We don't have to shut down schools because of a case of COVID-19. Now, if a student tests positive, other students can take the test and stay in the classroom if they're not infected, rather than closing the whole school or having to quarantine. We can keep our K through 12 schools open. That's exactly what we should be doing.
It's going to spread like wildfire. Everybody gonna have it. Everybody gonna have it. They ain't taking no measures.
But not panicked. If you're fully vaccinated, and especially if you got your booster shot.
They want you to get vaccinated, get it.
If you're unvaccinated,
go about your work.
Risk getting severely ill from COVID-19, getting hospitalized, and even dying. So the best thing to do is get fully vaccinated and get your booster shot. And no, this is not
a lot of people going to die that way, though. So
200 million people are fully vaccinated. We're prepared. We know more. We just have to stay focused. So that's where we stand. Now, let me tell you about the additional steps I'm ordering today to take on.
I don't get it. Why are we having, mass gatherings
3
unnecessarily?
weeks ago, I laid out a COVID-19 action plan for this winter that prepared us for this moment. Today, we're making the plan even stronger. First, we're setting up.
Why can't we incentivize people to stay home if they want to?
In the past 2 weeks, we've seen the highest vaccination rates since last spring. And we aren't as vaccinated as a country.
I'm assuming it's people that are already vaccinated just going and getting
That's why
boosters.
We have added 10,000 new vaccination sites on top of the 80,000 sites that we already had in place. And even more will open in January. There's some parts of this country where people are very eager to get their booster, where it's harder to get an appointment, So starting this week, I'll be deploying hundreds more vaccinators.
I just pulled a Jim from the office.
Booster shots in people's arms.
I did like the reaction shot to the camera.
Management agency to stand up new pop-up vaccination clinics all across the country where you can get that booster shot. We've opened, we've opened FEMA vaccination sites in Washington State and New Mexico.
This motherfucker's got the COVID.
Increased. And today, I'm directing FEMA to stand up new sites in areas where there is a high.
Did you notice that Psaki said you guys might have not been here for that, but during the press briefing, Psaki said he tested negative yesterday. He will have a test again tomorrow.
Parents.
She didn't say today.
Children are not vaccinated. Please get them vaccinated. If you're a parent, understandably, who waited.
And they have all but confirmed an outbreak in the White House.
Before getting your own kid vaccinated, you can stop waiting. 6 million children in our country, ages 5 to 11, are vaccinated. Get your children protected today, now. For those parents out there who have a child that's too young to be vaccinated, that is under the age of 5, I know this can still be a scary time. But one thing you can and must do while we wait.
They're not going to be able to keep that a secret if he's positive, even if it's a mild case, if he's asymptomatic.
As well as those around you, your children, your caregivers, your siblings. It's critical to mask up in public indoor places. We know that our youngest children have only rarely been impacted by serious COVID-19 cases. But they can be further protected if they're surrounded by vaccinated people. And again, to folks who are not vaccinated, you might think you're putting only yourself at risk. But it's your choice. Your choice is not just a choice about you. It affects other people. You're putting other people at risk. Your loved ones, your friends, neighbors, strangers you run into.
They don't give a shit.
Your choice can be the difference between life or death. The longer the virus is around, the more likely variants form. It may be deadlier than the ones that have come before. Let me say again and again and again and again, please get vaccinated. It's the only responsible thing to do. Those who are not vaccinated are causing hospitals to become overrun again. I just spoke to the governor of New York. Every COVID-19 hospital means someone with a heart attack, cancer, or other serious illness may not get that bed and that life-saving care they need in the hospital. Look, let me give it to you straight again. Omicron is serious, potentially deadly business for unvaccinated people. Let me be clear. Thanks to the prior administration and our scientific community, America is one of the first countries to get the vaccine.
And we've been hoarding it, and we won't give people the technology. That's why we're having variants.
Made America among the world leaders in getting shots in arms. But uptake slowed this summer as vaccine resistance among some hardened. Look, the unvaccinated are responsible for their own choices. But those choices
I bought my toys.
There's misinformation on cable TV and social media. You know, these companies and personalities are making money by peddling lies and allowing misinformation that can kill their own customers and their own supporters. It's wrong.
Brett and Heather.
It's immoral.
Brett and Heather.
Calling the purveyors of these lies and misinformation to stop it. Stop it now. One of the other things that we know that has to be done is more testing. Because Omicron spreads easily, especially among the unvaccinated. It's critically important that we know who's infected. That means we need more testing. And on that score, we're now where we should be. Yes, we have over 20,000 free testing sites. Yes, we've used the Defense Production Act and spent $3 billion to greatly expand the number of at-home tests available for purchase online and at your local pharmacy. And yes, we made...
This will be the third point of his plan, and the first 2 points have been, you're on your own, you're on your own.
Starting next month, private insurance will also cover at-home testing. So you can order a test online and get reimbursed. We're providing access to free at-home tests for those who may have insurance as well, may not have insurance, I should say, as well. But it's not enough. We have to do more. We have to do better. And we will. Starting this week, the federal government will set up emergency testing sites in areas that need additional testing capacity. Before Christmas, the first several of these federal testing sites will be up and running in New York City, with many more to come. This free testing is going to help reduce the waiting lines, the time you have to stand there.
Apparently, the lines in the Northeast right now are exploding.
So that if you want an immediate test,
because we had winded down the testing capacity from last year.
At-home testing. So I'm announcing today, the federal government will purchase 1/2 billion, that's not million, billion with a B, additional at-home rapid tests with delivery starting in January. We'll be getting these tests to Americans for free. And we'll have websites where you can get them delivered to your home. We've arranged for it to be easier for you to find a free COVID testing site near you on Google. Just enter COVID tests near me in the Google search bar. And you can find a number of different locations.
That wasn't already a thing? What the fuck?
We're going to continue to use
That's exactly what Google is for.
As we did earlier this month, to make sure we're producing as many...
Are you telling me if I had Googled COVID testing site before now, it wouldn't fucking tell me?
A lot better
all of it, let me click the directions and everything.
To make it easier to get tested.
Or does Joe Biden just not know how the internet works?
We're preparing hospitals for what's coming. Those 40 unvaccinated adults have a good chance of getting COVID-19. And some of you will get very sick. That'll mean hospitals are going to get extreme...
Did he say 40 unvaccinated adults? If only it was just 40 unvaccinated adults.
As well as personnel to care for those who get sick. That's why my administration has stockpiled and pre-positioned millions of gowns, gloves, masks, and ventilators. We call it PPP. We're ready.
We all going to be spreading it around.
Any state that needs more. In addition, I've directed the Pentagon to mobilize an additional 1,000 troops to be deployed to help staff local hospitals.
I think the more interesting thing coming out of this is this motherfucker has COVID.
Doctors, nurses, and medics. We've already started moving medical teams.
This is multiple times he has coughed.
This is on top of 300.
And we watched the press briefing with Jen Psaki beforehand. Jen Psaki was asked if he had COVID multiple times by the press pool.
While we know staffing is the biggest need for hospitals,
They have all but confirmed that there has been an outbreak at the White House. This has been an interesting press conference.
directed FEMA to activate the National Response Center and begin deploying teams now.
Psaki said that he tested negative yesterday and will take a test tomorrow. Did not mention today.
And nearby buildings to be ready if needed. And the federal government is paying for all of this.
He always sounds like shit, so.
Further, FEMA will deploy hundreds of ambulances and EMS crews so that if one hospital fills up, we can transport patients to beds elsewhere. This week, we'll send dozens of ambulances to New York and Maine because the COVID is spreading very rapidly.
I guess he's blaming deaths on unvaccinated people, which is true. Like, vaccinated people can spread it just as easily, but the vaccinated people are not the ones that are dying. The administration's position seems to be get vaccinated, go to work, and act like nothing is changed.
Finally, we're making sure that COVID-19 no longer closes businesses or schools. Last week, the federal court reinstated my administration's vaccination or test. The vaccination or test rule for businesses with more than 100 employees. The rule requires employers with 100 or more employees to protect.
Go slave away for the businesses.
Requirement that they be vaccinated or tested each week or go home. These rules are going to keep workers safe, and keep workers safe will help keep businesses open. If people are vaccinated or tested.
Well, if it's 2 doses and you've been like 6, 7, 8 months out, like Omicron is still incredibly serious.
They know it's a safe environment. I know vaccination requirements are unpopular.
With a booster, it's
not even popular for those.
Fantastic protection, apparently.
My administration has put them in place not to control your life, but to save.
And if you get a booster on top of having an infection and being double vaxxed, then you have like super immunity.
And almost all were unvaccinated. Almost all were preventable.
I don't look at it so much about like because like
it's going to save thousands of.
I saw a doctor go on a news show, and he's just exacerbated. He's like, "With this is unnecessary."
We know how to keep our kids safe from COVID-19.
It might not be the right messaging, but at this point, we have fucked up the messaging so fucking bad. That was one of the things in the pandemic playbook of the CDC pre-Trump, was that you have to be incredibly clear, incredibly honest from the beginning.
I got Congress
straight up with everybody in order for it to be effective.
School improvements, ventilation, and social distancing. Schools should be safer than ever from COVID-19. And just Friday, the CDC issued a test to stay guidelines. So schools can stay open and kids can stay in class even if a classmate tests positive. COVID-19 is scary, but the science is clear.
So what that means is you can give a kid a test, he doesn't incubate for a few hours, and then he's spreading it around later on in the day.
Let me close with this. I know you're tired. I really mean this. And I know
you make a great point, Core.
We all want this to be over.
The early indication is that it's just as virulent as Delta.
Critical moment. We also have more.
It evades the vaccines well, sans booster. And that it's 5 times more infectious.
I want to sincerely thank you for your perseverance, your courage, your countless acts of kindness, love, and sacrifice during these last 2 years. Throughout our history, we've been tested as a people.
We've had a lot of reports of mild cases, but like,
war and turmoil.
We're just now going to start seeing deaths.
Whether it be okay.
Based on the Omicron variant.
We've always endured because remember, there is no challenge too big for America. I mean this from the bottom.
Exactly. I'm just saying what the early reports indicate. The research is coming out of South Africa thus far.
United States of America. That's what we have to keep doing today. We can do this together. I guarantee you. May God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. And happy holidays. God love you all. Thank you.
Mr. President, on testing, sir, you said we have to do better, but public health officials have been saying for
Oh, he's going to take some questions. Hell yeah.
tests for just this moment. Is it a failure that you don't have an adequate amount of tests for everyone to be able to get one if they need one right now?
No, it's not, because COVID is spreading so rapidly. If you notice, it just happened almost overnight, just in the last month. And
we've seen it coming.
Mr. President.
and so,
All of this was completely predictable.
but the alarm bell went off. I don't think anybody anticipated that this was going to be as rapidly spreading as it did. And so the question is, we had a lot of people who have access to tests, who could order them, could have their insurance pay for them, et cetera. But all of a sudden, it was like everybody rushed to the counter. It was a big rush. And I knew that was coming. So what I tried to do was meet with the companies and use...
I knew it was coming. Nobody could foresee it.
More tests and figure out how to get them to their homes.
Mumble, grumble, grumble.
On the shelves.
Yes.
So that's what it's all about. Yes.
Mr. President, what's your message to Americans who are trying to get tested now and who are not able to get tested and who are wondering what took so long to ramp up testing?
Come on, what took so long?
I'm hearing that from people who are trying to get tested now before the...
Oh, man.
What took so long, it didn't take long at all. What happened was the Omicron virus spread even more rapidly than anybody thought. If I had told you...
We knew variants were possible. This was what we should have been preparing for all along.
500%. I think you would have looked at me and said, Biden, what are you drinking? But that's what it did. Now, we don't know what's going to happen from here. It looks there's some evidence that in South Africa, where a lot of this started, that it's dropping off quickly, too. We don't know. But I do know that we're not going to be in a position, like I said, when we were having a problem with masks and gowns and the like. I said, I promise you. Remember the criticism? I got questions from some of you. Why are you still paying for all these masks and gowns? Why are you stockpiling this? Because we don't know.
I don't remember ever hearing those questions.
Back and then,
Does it work, sir? And will you reverse the travel ban now?
It almost certainly didn't start in South Africa, but they just have the testing capacity to...
next couple of days.
They have an incredibly good
I said we put
medical community in South Africa.
To see
a lot of good research goes on.
Before it hit here, so we could begin to decide what we needed by looking at what's happening in other countries. But we're past that now. And so it's something that is being raised with me by the docs, and I'll have an answer for that soon.
President,
You talked often about the importance of keeping your word of trust. Do you believe Senator Manchin kept his word to you? And how do you rebuild trust?
We get a Build Back Better question.
You know, I told you before, you've heard me say this before, some people think maybe I'm not Irish because I don't hold a grudge. Look, I want to get things done. I still think there's a possibility of getting Build Back Better done. And what I don't want to do is get into... And Joe went on TV today, and I don't know whether it's TV or not, I'm told he was speaking to the Liberal caucus in the House and said, Joe Biden didn't mislead you, I misled you. And so, look, I'm not looking for...
Well, we knew that.
Let me say something. You saw what happened yesterday. All the talk about how my Build Back Better plan was going to increase inflation, going to cause these debts and all the like. What happened? Goldman Sachs and others said, if we don't pass Build Back Better, we're in trouble because it's going to grow the economy. And without it, we're not going to grow. And what happened? Stock prices went way down. It took a real dip. If you take a look, everybody thinks because I quoted 17 Nobel laureates saying this is going to help inflation. Think about it in terms of you're a hardworking person and you're making 60 grand if you're alone, or if you're a mom or just on her own, or if you're making 80 grand, mom and dad 90 grand like a lot of people do.
It's not an issue.
It's a devastating thing for people who are working class and middle.
I'm kind of amazed they even gave it its own little press conference.
Most of the cost now. The cost is finding in gasoline. Even
he's been sucking the cock of credit card companies, Wall Street,
going up, etc.
corporate America for fucking years.
Look what's in Build Back Better. Child care. You can reduce it by up to 70%. That'll be the difference.
40, 50 years of loyalty.
I'm back in the workforce being able to go back.
We'll get you the presidency if it's able to stop Bernie Sanders.
Insulin. In a situation, we got 200,000 kids with type 1 diabetes. You know what it's costing? It cost somewhere between 10 cents and $10 to come up with the formula. Okay? A while ago. Right? You know what it's costing on average? $560.
Use the National Defense Authorization Act to take over the production of insulin.
What do you do?
How about that, Biden?
Mom and a dad working with minimum wage, busting your neck. You look at your kid, and you know if you don't get that vaccine for him.
If you can use it for production of the vaccine, I don't see any reason why you can't use it for production of insulin.
What happens?
Just saying.
He's going to coma, maybe die. Not only do you put the kid's life at stake, you strip away all the dignity of a parent looking at their child. I'm not joking about this. Imagine being a parent looking at a child and you can't afford. You have no house to borrow against. You have no savings. It's wrong. But all the things in that bill are going to reduce prices and cost.
And isn't it like Joe Manchin's daughter that was responsible for like insulin prices?
Cost. What's inflation? Having to pay more than the money you have because things have gone up. Well, bring down all those costs across the board from child care to a child care tax credit.
EpiPens, that was it. Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you, Core. You were correct. It was EpiPens.
Would you support standalone? Mr. President, did Senator Manchin break his commitment to you? When you announced the framework, the White House says that all 50 senators were believed to get behind it, all 50 Democratic senators. So did Senator Manchin break his commitment to you?
Senator Manchin and I are going to get something done. Thank you.
Sir, do you still have the card with the desk?
Ukraine, sir.
Ukraine, sir. Ukraine. Well, that was interesting. Horrifying. Yes, horrifying. So to recap the message from the Biden administration, you're going to be able to get free tests. You can log on, get a test sent to you. That's cool. That should have been the policy fucking all along. Whenever we were able to mass produce, to develop and mass produce a at-home rapid test. I don't know exactly when they became available. But that should have been the policy of the federal government from that time forward. All along. Fucking Senator Manchin does not have integrity. No integrity. We're going to talk about Senator Manchin tonight. We're going to talk about Elon Musk going on with the Babylon Bee. I'm really looking forward to hearing from Brandon Brown, the Brandon from Let's Go Brandon. I mean, at least they're giving out rapid tests. You know, there's an argument to be made to go through businesses. But, like, the U.S. federal government did fucking nothing. Nothing. And that was Joe Biden's first 2 points. Are there going to be any kind of restrictions or measures? No. You're on your own. What are we going to do about the schools? They're staying open. You're on your own. So that was the gist of the press conference. We're purchasing 500 million at-home rapid tests. They will be available by logging onto the internet and getting them sent to you. We're expanding testing capacity. That was the gist of this press conference. A whole bunch of nothing, because you know what? They had already announced the 500 million tests. I knew that before he ever walked out. It was worthless. There's no fucking reason for us to watch that. Other than I just wanted to get on here and get high and fuck around with you guys. It was fun. It was fun while it lasted. Oh, but tonight we're going to talk about the Kellogg strike. We're going to talk about the possible criminal action against Donald Trump. I try to come on whenever there's breaking news. Let's go check the news. Is it possible we got a verdict in one of the two trials where the juries are deliberating? Try the Maxwell trial. They're asking for evidence still. Potter trial. I guess they were just getting around to resuming deliberations a couple hours ago. So if I see that we have reached a verdict in either of these cases, and I'm not like exporting a video that my computer's tied up, I'm going to hop on and we will witness the verdict. The Maxwell we won't get to see inside the courtroom because it's a federal case. We'll watch some kind of journalist outside of the courtroom. How that will work is they have journalists in the federal courtrooms. That's how we have the picture. The wild ass picture of Ghislaine Maxwell drawing the court, whatever they call the not stenographer, that's the person that types the shit out. The court drawing person. Boy, do I sound stupid. Spacing on the word there. The fucking... She drew the person drawing her for the court. There will be reporters in the courtroom. In modern times, they might fucking text somebody outside the courtroom. Is that what they're called? That doesn't sound familiar to me. Lithographer?
Lithographer.
Lithographer. The process of printing from a flat surface treated so as to repel the ink except where it is. Court drawing person. Courtroom sketch artist. That's fucking easy. Here's the story of the sketch artist who has caught Ghislaine Maxwell's eye. This is Maxwell. This is the sketch artist's drawing. And Maxwell was apparently staring at her and drawing her back during the trial. Fucking crazy. And that's scary. And also, as I've said, don't be surprised if she gets off. From all reports, it kind of seems like the prosecution was a little inept. Insane, I know. Or if there's some kind of a hung jury or some shit like that happens. That would be scary to me if I was that sketch artist. And she's like, giving me the mean mug. Yeah, it's a self-portrait. She drew a bit of a self-portrait here. Jane Rosenberg is the name of the sketch artist. You look like her. Here's a picture of her. Fucking wow. Fucking. This is gonna be wild. But yeah, we'll talk about all that shit tonight. It'll be a fun time. On the Troll Patrol. 8 p.m. Eastern. God damn, does Uncensored just fucking stream 24/7? Good on them. I don't know what just happened. Oh. If you're watching on Twitch, you're going to go over to Sonsol. I'll drop in and say hi. I'll see you later on tonight. Troll Patrol Live. This is another one of those where I don't know what to vote. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have some fun in the fucking afternoon. Especially because, like, it's Christmas, motherfuckers. See you tonight on the Troll Patrol Live.